Oh my goodness, that was a great movie, wasn't it? I must admit that I did not have very high hopes for something with the name Next Stop Christmas, but it really surprised me. Yeah, so let's get into it. This was just such a great movie. I really liked that Angie was so easy with everyone. Her relationships just felt natural. She felt natural. Travis felt very shady and fake. I mean, just everything about him felt fake to me, just the way he talked and everything. And then Kristen was passive aggressive a lot. I would not like that in real life, but it served the movie very, very well. No, there wasn't any point in this movie where I got bored. It kept my attention, beginning to end, no problems at all. As realistic as a movie about a magic train can be, I suppose, the relationships felt real and the conflict within her felt real. It was never explained, and I never understood what the trigger was that sent her back to the train. The first time it happened, I was like, why is she back at the train? Overall, realistic in a magical sort of way, we'll say. There were some gaps. The snowman jewelry box. How is it that she never saw the note, but yet it was still in there when Kristen found it many, many years later? That seems a bit of a liberty. Travis had a lot of last-minute audition type stuff that he needed to do, even though he was a local reporter. And that seemed really unusual that they would call 2 days before Christmas. And then how about the trip to Yonkers? It seemed like that was where her house was, but she didn't need a round-trip ticket to come back to the hospital where she works. I mean, I would have think that she'd have like a pass that she'd come and go all the time. That did not make any sense to me. So I'd say that's a pretty big gap in the plot. The fact that when she suggested the catchphrase early, and so that changed the future from there. And also this movie was different in that it wrapped up in 6 minutes instead of 10. Usually they tie it all up in 10, but this time it was 6. Everyone felt real. They felt like they could be real people, and the relationships within or between them felt like they were real. At the very beginning, when Angie is talking about going home, and she's talking about basically how uncomfortable it is to be around everyone, so she obviously avoids uncomfortable situations, but her happiest Christmas, her happiest last Christmas, is not as she remembers it at all. Her relationships with people aren't as she remembers them. Even that Christmas, there was just so much strife, and she didn't even realize it. So that kind of built tension because nothing matched what she had in her head. So that built the tension as the story went along. I would trade places with the aunt because I loved the party that she threw every year. It was this wonderful annual gift she gave to her community that everyone looked forward to, and she got to see everyone. What a wonderful tradition for her to put into her town. I don't want to say funny name because it's a real name, but I had never heard the name Henrik before. I actually looked it up, and it is a variation of Henry. I didn't expect that the actions would have changed her whole life. I expected it to be that she had to go back, and, he had to wait for 10 years, but she's coming back and she's going right to the meeting. So that was unexpected to me that it just changed everything. So now I want to know, did he go find her? How did he make the change happen from that point forward? I would have explained that, or I would have had it been, like the Sleepless in Seattle, whatever the other old movie is, the Eiffel Tower, where people meet many years later. So that's how I would have changed it. I mean, it was subversive, it was unexpected, but I want to know now what Ben did to change the future, because obviously it wasn't Angie. I would have changed the beginning of the movie. I didn't like that we started out in the surgery suite and I couldn't tell who the movie was actually going to be about. It just felt a little disjointed, and I would have started it in a different way. That it's so easy to get wrapped up in our own lives and not notice the pain that's going around us in our own family because they're hiding it and covering it up. And definitely reminded of the butterfly effect. One act of kindness can then spread and spread and spread. And my favorite quote in the movie is, "Call me Evelyn, or there's a good chance I won't answer you." I really loved this movie. I thought it was fantastic, and hope you did too. Let's see what we can make out of this poster and make a thumbnail. Okay, let's do her first. She is full on. And he is... And let's see. Okay. And let's see. Right. All right. Well, I'm learning a lot about how to put together thumbnails. So we'll see how this all plays out.